It is now 1 week gone. The GCE board has not called for a press conference to tell Cameroonians, parents, students, stakeholders the truth, what happened as far as the leakage or the leak of GCE this year is concerned, which warranted that it should be pushed for 2 weeks before they will rewrite, and what provisions are going to be taken to make sure that such a leak doesn't occur again. Accountability is the fundamental policy that the GCE board, which is supposed to be an autonomous board, is supposed to sit and tell Cameroonians what happened and answer questions to the journalists, questions of the journalists and the people. You see, my dear brothers in Cameroon and stakeholders, yes, we have been told that there was a leak. But I want to ask you, which subject leaked? To what extent was the leak? Who have been arrested? How did they chase the leak? What happened the moment the leak was done? Which level did it leak? How substantial was or is the leak? What dispensation is being taken for this leak? And how are students reassured that if they come again and they write, there will not be any leak? And how sure are students that the previous one that they wrote before this leak was recovered or was discovered, that what they wrote before this leak was discovered will be marked in all fairness? To what extent are the other papers that were written? Could it be that other papers that were written are leaked? What is being done? In any normal country, the board, the GCE board, because this is a national exam. This is the exam that sells the image of Cameroon's higher institutions, or Cameroon, that transit Cameroon students into higher institutions and those into high schools, because the General Certificate Education Board, without that GCE, some people will not be allowed or be admitted in universities abroad. They need that General Certificate Education. And so if the image of that GCE is affected, it means that the well-being of the certificate of those who are to come, or those who have come out from that board, will likely be subjected for scrutiny by international universities. The GCE board is an autonomous board and need to come to the public, organize a press conference and tell Cameroonians what happened. They need to take up their responsibility. It is 1 week and we have not heard anything substantial for a board that is autonomous. Our parents fought so hard for the GCE board to be created. They were tear gassed, they were peppered in Yaoundé, they sat, they fought, and eventually the GCE board was created. It will be so unfair for the GCE board to stay to this moment without calling for a press conference. You see the video that the Minister of Secondary Education granted, the interview that she granted, that was released, at least came to give a green light and explain, at least reassured parents of what is happening. It was then the public got to understand that people are making money from the GCE. And how far have they been making money? That's why we need this press conference. Last year, was there any leakage? The minister made it clear that people are making money. And if the minister had not granted that interview, we wouldn't have known what is happening. We have not still had the details. Of course, it is the board that organizes the exam, not the Ministry of Secondary Education. So the board should hold a press conference. Our parents, our forebearers fought so hard for the board to be created to be an autonomous board, not a board that does not have autonomy. Until date, we are not having accountability, and nobody is talking about it, and we are okay, and we still are okay. For God's sake, Cameroonians deserve accountability. You see, that's why I like Minister Paul Atanganji. Some people always say, oh, you are supporting this man, supporting this man. During the post-electoral, the pre-electoral issues, the Ministry of Territorial Administration granted press conference and at all levels explained to Cameroonians what was transpiring, why this was happening, why this happened, how this is going to happen. This is that is what is called accountability. And that accountability gave an opening for Cameroonians to understand and have an understanding as to what the ministry is doing and how the ministry is moving around to resolve the issues raised by different political parties and stakeholders. It's very important. Some ministries act like they are demigods, like they don't owe accountability to any other Cameroonians. Of course, the GCE board is working for us Cameroonians and not for themselves and for the image of Cameroon. Because whether you are writing the GCE this year or not, as far as you wrote the GCE and there is that issue not well addressed, your certificate is subject to scrutiny. How did we get here? That the GCE board till now has not seen it necessary to even call for a press conference, and we are quiet about it, and journalists are quiet about it. And the sad reality is that I see some journalists praising people, officials of the GCE board, that they ought to ask questions. And the sad thing is, you see, the greatest problem of us Cameroonians are not some of those stakeholders, but are the people whom these stakeholders get favor from. Because when you condemn, you criticize something that is wrongfully done, if it is not the person that they get favor from, they will appreciate. They say, oh, thank you, you have said it. But if it is their own, they will come and condemn you. Sometimes they will call you on phone and warn you. Whereas the person, the ministry in charge, hasn't. They will call you and warn you. Some of the biggest problems we have as some journalists. They'll call you, they'll warn you. It is their own, it is theirs. They'll go now on social media and write beautiful piece. Beautiful piece. But when we look at other countries, but when those same people, when it's a different ministry, that's not their own, they'll condemn. They'll say, oh, this ministry is doing this, oh, this ministry is doing that. But when it's now their own, they'll say, oh, no, it's our own person. It's our own person. No, don't touch our own person. They will justify, they'll look at everything to justify the unjustifiable. That a national exam is leaked and that exam is pushed for 2 weeks. We don't have answers. None of you know which paper leaked. Some of you may know, but you don't know the extent at which the leak happened, the breach happened. You don't know who are those making money. The minister said people are making money. Who are those making money? Where are they? Have they been arrested? How long did it take to know? What happened to the previous papers that were written? Had this paper had come out since? That student that were caught, those students that were caught, did they say that they had spoken for all the other subjects? What happened to all the other subjects? A lot of questions need to be answered. And yet we say, oh, journalists, instead of journalists ask the right question, you say, no, this person have done what? In other countries, they will call for a press conference. In fact, in this Cameroon, they will call for a press conference. Minat is calling for press conference on a regular basis on issues that is really that affect the ministry. The minister always calls for a press conference, and all the time the minister is there addressing Cameroonians to explain to Cameroonians what is happening. That is to tell you that he understands that accountability belongs to the people. People need accountability, but when you reach your turn, people don't want to give accountability. When we want to talk now, I say, oh, they are attacking our own. They know some will bring the tribal cat. The tribal cat, oh, it is our tribe. These people is attacking our own. You see, and these same people, they will condemn these are the same people who condemn or criticize things that are done in some ministries, we need an accountability from the GCE board. We need it. This week, the GCE board should give us accountability. So call for a press conference. Or why are they hiding? Why are they avoiding a press conference? What could they be hiding? The matter is not in court. When something is subject to court, then we understand that it is in court. Even at that level, there's a briefing. To say, oh, so and so persons were caught, they're in court, according to this, that. Okay. But you have not told us it's not in court. We need explanations. The minister said, some people are making money. We need to know who are those making money. Have they been caught? Since when did they realize that they are making money? It's a right of any student. And see, if this thing had occurred in the Western nation, this is it. This is how it will be handled. You hear the president or the GCE board registrar will come, will grant a press conference. My dear parents, students, stakeholders, the management of the board really appreciate the concerns of parents. We apologize for what this postponement has done to you. We want to reassure you that the exam will be written on so and so date. Investigations are ongoing. We want to reassure students that please don't panic. The subject you wrote will not be affected. The marking is going to be done professionally, and we really apologize for the inconveniences. We know parents are going through a lot, especially those who are in the dormitory school, those who probably their children have to leave town to go and write in the different accommodation centers. They have to be for 2 additional weeks, which is 3 weeks or so. We apologize, and we want to beg that you should see reasons with us, because the leakage is according to this, that. And we know that this is coming at a very difficult time. The board want to reassure you again that the credibility of the board will not be tampered with. Questions, and they will answer the question. Then they'll say, thank you for your kind attention, and please always put your ears on the ground for GCE board. We'll be communicating to you. Finish. But they cannot do it. Why? Only them know.